So I'm sure if you're in the trading space, you've probably heard of the book Trading in the Zone by Mark Douglas. It's often regarded as one of the best trading psychology books that you could read. So I kind of just want to make a quick summary, going over the quick summary of like the main ideas. If you're a smooth brain like me, just want a simple explanation, the bare bones of it. I got you, bro. I got you. We got like a quick presentation. Let's cook this shit up, bro. Trading in the Zone by Mark Douglas, a summary by yours truly, Snuka. Oh yeah, what you know about this, bro? Okay, so to preface, right, point zero, some ideas to start with. So for the longest time, I used to think that if I just learned more about trading, that I'd finally just become consistent. More setups, more analysis, I would get more screen time, and then I'd just become a better trader. I would just be able to, just automatically find setups and just be able to execute and just win trades automatically, But no, I was wrong. Clearly I was wrong because something was wrong. I wasn't becoming profitable. I wasn't winning more trades than losing, and I was just, I was doing a whole bunch of losing. My freaking account thing was a whole lot of red, as teacher says. But anyway, bro, I gotta stop losing, bro. But anyways, so the key takeaway of this book is that trading in the zone made me realize that my problem wasn't strategy, and it was mainly just how I thought about every single trade. All right, so on to the first point. So trading is a probability game. So key ideas from this kind of idea is that anything can happen. Each trade is independent. Edge equals probability and not certainty. Wait, let me get this pointer thing out. So to start, anything can happen. So even if your setup looks perfect, even if you followed your plan, anything can still happen. You can't expect something to happen specifically because, anything can happen. The markets are going to move independent of what you think they will. The market, like one key idea in this book is that it says like the market is comprised of everyone's thoughts and beliefs of what price is going to do next. So you can't what it's saying, like when you're saying that what can happen, you're like judging yourself like, you're able to know what each person in the market is going to do. You never know how many people are sitting on the sidelines and going to get in. You never know who's going to get out, and you never know what the people on the inside are going to do. Because everyone's thoughts and beliefs are independent of one another. So you can't you can't control what's going to happen. Like anything can happen. And this was like the main thing that it was hard for me to accept because I wanted to always be right. I always wanted to have certainty in my edge, and I always wanted to never be wrong. And that's just you can't do that, bro, because you just can't. I think I just said that, but it's you just can't do that. Each trade is independent. Each time will be independent. You never know who's going to be in the market at one time and then who's going to be at the market a second time. Like a trade at this time will be different from the trade at this time. You can't associate one moment to a previous moment. You could only associate that your edge will play out, but you're not going to know for certain what's going to happen each time. And that's what I mean by here. Your edge is equal to a probability. It's a higher chance of one thing happening over the other. It's not 100% guarantee. You're not going to know for sure. You could have the common example is like heads or tails, You're not going to know for sure if it's going to be heads or tails. For sure it'll be one of the two options unless the shit lands on the freaking edge of it, which is highly unlikely. But what's saying it's going to be one of the either, and it's just a probability of what will happen. You can't expect one thing to happen when there's an even chance of other things happening. You don't know for certain. And every time you expect a trade to win, that's when you assume that what's going to happen next, and you can't do that for just the reason that I just said. So moving on to the next point now. Number 2, why losses hurt so much. So this key idea is that losses feel personal because of the expectations that we hold. They hurt because they violate what we're expecting. And it says expectations are future beliefs, beliefs on the future that we think will happen based on our beliefs of the past. And once those expectations or those beliefs are falsified, I don't know if that's a word, but when they're proven wrong, then we'll just feel sad because we feel betrayed, we feel violated, we feel like we weren't right. And that's we don't like feeling not right, you know what I'm saying? So that's a main reason for why losses hurt. So for me personally, it was I wasn't accepting the risk, and I was just hoping that the risk wouldn't show up. I would just hope that I'm not going to lose. Or I would just think in my mind, I'm going to win, I'm going to win, I'm going to win. But you can't do that because you don't got certainty, because it's just a probability game, bro. You can't, don't know for certain what's going to happen. You just know there's a higher probability of one thing happening over the other. And that's something that you truly need to accept in order to move on with trading. Also, when entering trades, I would have a belief that things are going to work out. And if they didn't, I would feel sad because, violate my expectations, I would feel sad. And then that sadness would carry on to future days and cause me to make bad decisions on upcoming days. And that just caused me to go into a downward spiral of making bad decisions, you know what I'm saying? So that's the second point. Okay, so point number 3 that I have is the market is neutral. So the key ideas for this idea is that the market gives information unbiasedly. You assign the meaning, it's you. And the market is not against you. The market is just neutral, or the market is giving unbiased, neutral information and is not against you. So one quote that made sense to me when I was reading is that the market doesn't do anything to you, it just reflects what's already in your mind. So what does it mean? Like every reaction that we have, or every emotional reaction that we have, is coming from my own beliefs. It's not coming from the market, because the market is just giving information, but the market is just candlesticks going up and down, red and green, or whatever your chart colors are. It's not saying like, yo, this up candle determines if you're in a trade, because that's you that's assigning it. Or it's not like, yo, this up candle is going to determine if I get stopped out or take profit. The market's not assigning that. It's you who's assigning that. You're the one who assigned the meaning of price to a stop loss. You're the one who assigned the price to a take profit. You're the one who assigned the price to entering a trade. It's all you, and it's not the market, because the market is just there to give you the information, and it's you who assigns the market. The key to like the solution for this is just, you got to look at the market objectively, bro. You can't like assign meaning to price, because that'll cause you to get attached to that price, get attached to an outcome, and then if that outcome or that expectation doesn't get fulfilled, then you'll just feel sad, and that's not good, because you don't want emotional pain when trading. Because in trading, you got to be calm-minded. That emotion that you have, that'll carry on to future days. That might even carry on in the session that you're in, and you just feel really down bad. You feel bad. You feel sad. You want to cure that emotional pain, and you might go and just revenge trade. You might just want to overtrade. You might just want to do everything that you're not supposed to do. So yeah, like an example that, I don't know if it was in the book, but what I remember is that, like, if you imagine like a river, right, flowing, we got the river, and the river is the water. Well, yeah, a river is water. Wait, what am I even saying? But a river is a water, right? I mean, like, a river is a river, and what you as a person, you can decide if you want to go into that water. You could decide if you want to ride the river and go down. You could decide when to get out of that river. You can decide how much you go into that river. Do you want to put your toe in? Do you want to put your knee in? Do you want to put your entire body in? And that could cause like you to like fall like forward. You get to choose how much you go in, and you get to choose how you get out, and you get to choose if you even go in the first place. So, and the river is just a means of transportation, so it's all up to you. It's all up to you. It's just what's in your mind, and you get to choose that. You assign the meaning. All the responsibility falls onto you on what you do, and you can't blame anyone else. You can't blame the market for doing anything, because the market is just giving the information unbiasedly. So yeah, that's like the main thing for point 3. Okay, so now point 4. What does a consistent trader really look like? Well, key ideas for here is that the consistent trader has, or the trader that is in the zone has no expectations, is carefree, not euphoric, and is focused on the process over the outcome. Good traders that we may admire are calm because they've removed the need to be right. They trust their system properly. They trust that their edge will play out in the future. That comes from confidence and maybe forward testing, back testing, stuff like that. They believe that in the long run, they'll be able to win. So they don't need to be right in that specific instance. They could just, be patient and wait, be patient and wait for the next kind of best setup. They don't need to prove themselves. They're not like attached to each outcome. They're not attached to each specific trade. They just trust themselves and their edge, and they don't show any celebration, no sadness, or they just like execute, except Tyler, like except TJR, what I'm saying? Like, as like an upcoming trader, I feel like I need to be emotionless. I need to be, not carefree. I mean, like, not reckless. There's a fine line that you have to balance, but you can't show emotion, because that emotion will show up in future days. That emotion could show up in the day that you're in right now, and that would cause you to like mess up on the charts, and it'll not be good for you. All right, so now that's all for point number 4. My honest takeaways, that's pretty much all the points I have. We're trying to simplify to the bare bones here, but my honest takeaways for the entire book is that the book forced me to realize how much emotional weight I was putting on every trade. So a solution for this is just to have an abundance mindset, I don't need to make trading the main part of my life. I have social media like TikTok, YouTube. I also work out a lot, have a university as well. So it's not like I'm focused so much on trading. And even within trading, I should be focused on like, yo, there are going to be more steps in the future, but I shouldn't be treating each trade like it's like a one and only thing. It's like it's like with a shorty, if you're trying to get with a shorty, you can't like think of her like she's the only one. Otherwise, she's just gonna scare her away. You gotta have abundance mindset. There's many more shorties out in the fish in the sea and shit like that, and you could just go for any of them when you don't need like that one specific one. Like you just relate it to real life. The second takeaway is that I realized that I wasn't trading the market objectively, and that I was trading my expectations. So simply, going into market open, don't expect anything. Don't expect to be able to take a trade. Also, like, if I'm in a trade, don't expect to win. Expect to maybe break even, or just expect the worst to happen. Expect that you lose, then you'll be okay with losing. You'll be okay with when break even, and you'll be okay with winning. You just gotta stay level headed. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for watching and listening, and make sure to like if it helped. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I'll see you later. Goodbye.